So, thank you for the opportunity to give this short talk, which will serve as an introduction for the rationale of the development that are being done in terms of phenotyping systems inside PHENET, and there will be, let's say, more advanced focus given by Philippe, and further on the bee use case. So by Philippe on the wheat, and further on the bee use case here. So it's more a general introduction on what we do in this phenotyping part here. So the problematic and challenge are the following. Actually, precision agriculture is a topic that exists in the 90s. So there's a lot of commercial ag tech solutions which are ready for a lot of conventional agriculture setups. On the left, you can see here a Bosch connected sticks that was developed some years ago. Here you can see a rover equipped with camera by the Green Atlas company, which is used to phenotype conventional orchid, and so on, just to name a few. The limitation we face with some of these systems is that they may not meet the expectation from the infrastructure PHENET that we target here, and here are some reasons of the missing part. For some of these commercial systems, there is possibly missing access to raw data, which for research infrastructure is a mandatory and a very important aspect, meaning that it's difficult to adapt the system itself freely to specific needs that may not have been targeted initially in the commercial development. Another common limitation is that the traits which are delivered by the company may not be corresponding to the specific interest we have here, especially if you include colleagues interested in plant variety testing. We have specific standards here, or if you move to agroecological systems, which differ from the traits which are usually measured in conventional agriculture. Also, something that often happen is that some of these systems may produce a huge amount of data, so that when you go in the field afterwards, the process, the extraction and then process of the data may be a bottleneck, and we would like to address this bottleneck in some of our application. I will make a focus on this. So we team up in PHENET with techno integrators to address these challenges for the end user that we target for the infrastructure here. So here are some systems. I will go a little bit more in detail here. So we aim at the development of connected sticks, of phenoman sticks, and rover with sensors. So these connected sticks are have been specially tailored to be able to match the scale of satellites. So to have, let's say, ground truth measurement that are connected to the satellite data. So it's a system that has been homemade by the colleagues from INRAE Clermont-Ferrand. And 70 of these sticks are now being spread out inside of the network of PHENET. They include standard sensors such as the measurement of the speed of the wheel, pluviometry, pluviometer, cameras to measure the at zenith or 45-degree angles, measurement of temperature in the soil, and other soil sensor which can be integrated here. The phenomenon stick, as you can see here, is a set of stereo vision camera, which is held by a human that can go freely to a location in the field. So it's complementary to the connected stick because you have the degree of freedom somehow to go wherever you want, while the connected stick has to be settled in a position, especially suited when you have this relationship with the satellite here. So for the phenomenon stick, less sensors, but the possibility to have a measurement wherever we want in the trials. So specially adapted again for small lots, small parcel, micro plots, micro parcels in the field. This includes the stereo vision, which means that we have RGB color information plus 3D information to have a measurement of the height of the plants which are below the camera. The last system is our rovers with sensors that we target specially for ORCAD. So they include also RGB RGB camera, but also LiDAR to be able to measure the height, measure the shape, count the number of fruit, estimate some colors, and this over the time because you have the possibility to come back over and over. And they include, of course, all this sensor, the geolocalization of the measurement. Some of these sensors may include more accurate sensors than the RGB and include what is called multispectral or hyperspectral images. And Philippe will come back on this, illustrating a use of such camera for the use case that he developed on the disease of wheat. So again, these kind of systems somehow could be found for some of them, so connected sticks or rovers with sensors. But the added value of what we develop is that everything is open for research and development, so that we can be our own men to develop the traits of interest for the end users. Then, so there is a classical AI process, which is developed almost now for most of these the use case we have. So there is first part, which is an acquisition of data, and the fact that we are a network connecting several locations in Europe and possibly beyond in some collaboration helps the value of the gathered data set. Once these data are gathered, there is an annotation step, meaning that a ground truth is established numerically on these data, here images. And then the training of some artificial intelligence algorithms, so typically neural networks. And once the performance have reached some value of coping with the expectations, then there is the inference which can be done here. So, as mentioned in my introduction, this classical AI process, we would like it to be available at what is called at the edge or on the edge, meaning that being able to run the inference not in the lab, but directly on the devices themselves. So during this first period of the PHENET project, what we have tested is a variety of mini computers. Sometimes they call it credit card computers, so like Raspberry Pi, Jetson Nano, and so on, which are typically devices which cost less than 100 euro. And also testing them with libraries of AI for machine learning, which can be lighter than what you use when you work on a cloud. So you have here typically the consumption in milliampere per hour, and also the typical time to process one of the images here. So you see that typically, depending on the amount of RAM, the power of the mini computer, there is quite a variation here. And one of the best shot here is this system, a Raspberry Pi 4, 2 GB multi-threaded, where we have only 15 seconds to process an image. Typically, on a connected stick, we will take a couple of images per day. So this leaves a lot of time to and saving also energy, and possibly to reduce the flux of data that will be indeed transmitted in the end. You would say that for one connected stick, it's not a problem, but since we start to have a large cohort of them, already 70 widespread in our network, it's important to be able to monitor the quality of the data at the beginning to avoid having, let's say, bad quality data and sending someone in the field early enough if there is some issue somewhere, and possibly also limiting the flux of data to be sent to the server, as presented earlier with Cyril. So we have been investigating, if I want to dig a little bit on this, a little bit more, how to even reduce the consumption of energy here and the time of process by going to what is called knowledge distillation. So in knowledge distillation, you take a standard neural network, a big one, which can run on a cloud or on a large GPU, and you this is called a teacher, and then you translate the weights somehow to a lighter architecture here, an architecture which includes only 3 or 4 depth layers of neurons. And you can see here that with similar performance, we manage even to reduce the energy consumption and possibly also the time of process. What we did is we considered for this study the so-called vegan neural network, which has been designed by the group by Marie Weiss and Frédéric Barret in Avignon, and which is available if you want to measure the surface of soil covering at any time. It has been trained on a large data set, large enough so that it's already ready, and we try to push the performance of this or to preserve the performance of this, even when we deploy this kind of neural network at the edge and not on the cloud or the server. Very recently, so in 2024, there was some nice move, introduction of the so-called Kolmogorov-Arnold network, which are new architecture for neural networks, where instead of tuning the weights, meaning the synapse of the neural network, people tune what is called the activation function. So instead of taking a standard nonlinear activation function, this activation function is the parameter or are the parameter which are learned, and it reaches a nice efficiency also in terms of energy consumption and also in terms of computation time. So we managed to preserve the performance here again with this, even reducing the energy consumption here. So we are trying to push the limit of this in order to preserve the life cycle of the battery and limit the flux of data to what is really needed for the expectation. Here it's only focused on the use case of soil covering, but of course we are going to extend this to all the traits which have been listed earlier by Bertrand for the different use case. We will not show them today in all the presentation, but you will have a focus already for what Philippe, for instance, has been developing. So to be extended to various agroecosystems for mixed cropping, pollinizer tracking, and so on. And if you want more detail on this embedded AI on connected stick, we recently presented an extended version of what I presented in the IPPS, International Plant Phenotyping Symposium, and the video is available online. So this is for my presentation for today. Thank you for your attention.